Uh, Hello. Welcome to another unboxing. It's been 7 months in the making. So, it's been quite a while since I've promised this set 50 years of Planet of the Apes, 9-movie collection. Now, I'm just gonna say Planet of the Apes is easily one of, if not my favorite, sci-fi franchise. I freaking love Star Wars. I freaking love Star Trek. I also have a soft spot for Doctor Who. That's an exaggeration. I love Doctor Who, but I absolutely love these movies. A few of them. Like 4 of them. But yeah. So, yeah, this was released back in, I think it was actually 2019, funnily enough. Rather than 2018, which was the actual 50th anniversary. But, yeah, so here's the front. Here's the spine. Oh, wait, I should probably, there we go. Here is the back. There was a backing on this. It basically just showed like little details about each film and like some of the stuff included. But if you take the backing off, you just get this, which is an ape fist. I quite like it. The actual case itself, plus another little thing that I'll show you in a little bit. Here's the top, and then here's the bottom. If there's one thing that I have a complaint about this, though, even though this is a purely Blu-ray set, along with some Ultra HD discs, it is the height of a DVD case, I mean. So, here, if you don't mind, I'll just grab one real quick. Alright, I'm back with the DVD case. So, yeah, see? It's about the same height as the DVD case. So, yeah. Anyways, let's open this up. But before we get into the discs and stuff, there's something else in here. There's this. Planet of the Apes collector's cards, or collector cards. It's a little globe there, and then when we open it up, damn it, there we go. So when we open this up, it folds open like this, and you can fold these out. There we go. And then we get some cards. So we have Planet of the Apes. Beneath the Planet of the Apes, probably my least favorite of these movies. That or Battle, I can't really decide. And yes, I actually think the Tim Burton movies are better than those two, like the Tim Burton movie. Escape from the Planet of the Apes. This is probably my second favorite from the original 5 they did. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. This one's also pretty good, especially since I'll tell you a little bit more about both this and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. And yeah, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. It even has like a little cast list right there. Almost reminds me of the poster for the 1990. Was it 1990? I think so. The original It miniseries, I mean. So yeah. Then we have Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. I kind of like this one. I like this this little card here. Evolution Becomes a Revolution. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. My personal favorite out of this trilogy. So yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I really like this one. And then War for the Planet of the Apes, which is just like the poster that was everywhere of Caesar with a shotgun riding a horse. So yeah, hold on. Let me just put all of these back in order. Why couldn't I have just done the weird shuffle thing that everyone does? Hold on a sec. I'll just cut to when I'm done rearranging these. There we go. These are all organized again, so I'm just going to pop these back in here. There, if you need to see more of what it looks like, because it's kind of hard trying to work around the camera here. Yeah, so then let's take the actual case out. So here's the front, 50 Years of Planet of the Apes, 9-movie collection. And also on the bottom there, it says, includes the theatrical and unrated versions of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, just as a quick thing, I'm not quite sure on Battle for the Planet of the Apes being unrated, but I do know that it is the quote-unquote extended edition, which is 10 minutes longer. And I've never actually seen the theatrical edition because the first time that I watched the first 5 movies, it was on an old DVD set that my dad got. Probably, well, it was the 40th anniversary, or wait, no, I don't know. It was a while ago. And yeah, in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, it changes the ending and it only makes the movie about a minute longer. I actually think I prefer the unrated ending as opposed to the theatrical ending of Conquest, but whatever. So yeah, here's the front. Obviously, you get Caesar. Here's the spine. And I don't know if you noticed, but this is definitely a Canadian set with all the English and French. So, I mean, makes sense. The original Planet of the Apes novel was a French novel. And yeah, then you have other Caesar on the back. This is Roddy McDowall from Conquest of the Planet of the Apes and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. And there's nothing really special to show on the top or bottom. And then, yeah, this opens up kind of strangely because you kind of pull this, it opens, but then here's a strange thing. I can take the discs out, like that. So, yeah, so you have Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. There you go, Planet of the Apes 2001, or the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then here we go. Here's some of the Ultra HD discs. Never mind, I forgot. Yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, and then Rise, Dawn, and War. It's not actually arranged like this when you first open up the set. I actually did this rearranging myself, purely because I didn't like how I had to basically flip every time I wanted to, like, flip the thing when I wanted to just get to the normal Blu-ray, because I don't have an Ultra HD Blu-ray player. I only have a normal Blu-ray player, so yeah. Anyways, so let me pop this back into the case. And let's slide these back into here. And there we go. So, let's move on to what the disc menus are like and stuff like that. And yeah. All right then. Okay. So this is the disc menu for the first Planet of the Apes. Now, just as a quick thing, this menu actually does spoil the end of the movie. I will not tell you where it is, but if you don't want to be spoiled, or if you somehow haven't been spoiled already, click off the video. Actually, quite soon, maybe. But, yeah. So, anyways, this is the disc menu. So, obviously, you got play to just play your movie. Setup for audio, you have English 5.1 DTS HD, English mono, Spanish mono, French 5.1 Dolby Digital, commentary by actors Roddy McDowall, Kim Hunter, and Natalie Trundy, and makeup artist John Chambers. Commentary by composer Jerry Goldsmith, and okay, nothing else. Subtitles. So we have Korean, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, English, and none. Okay, okay, there we go. And for scenes, it's just your chapter select. Special features. Obviously, yeah, we have already talked about that first commentary. The commentary by Jerry Goldsmith. Text commentary by Eric Green, author of Planet of the Apes as American Myth. This is actually the only commentary I haven't watched yet, but I mean, I'm not really a big fan of reading, so yeah. Science of the Apes bonus view, Beyond the Forbidden Zone adventure game, a public service announcement from ANSA, Evolution of the Apes and Impact of the Apes. Behind the Planet of the Apes documentary, Behind the Planet of the Apes promo, the Archives of the Apes, the Galleries of the Apes, D-Box Mastering Motion, which I'm not quite sure on how that works, and yeah. So, should also tell you that with these discs, at the very beginning, there is a weird CG ape that basically runs over, the beginning of the film, and, like, what that might do. I think it's kind of unnecessary. It's very clear that they just got a sound-alike actor because it almost sounds like Dr. Zaius, but he's not. And it's just kind of weird. And that is actually included. I can't remember what it's under, but yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next disc. All right. This is the disc menu for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, I should also tell you that um, there is usually music from the movies playing in these menus, but I mean, I don't want to get copyright claimed, especially since the disc menus for the last three movies will probably do that to me already. So, yeah. But, yeah, so obviously play setup, audio, English 5.1 DTS HD, English mono, Spanish mono, French Dolby Surround, isolated score track 5.1 DTS HD. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the isolated score track because you have to have because this movie I kind of like the score, but I won't I'm not gonna watch the whole thing without any of the normal audio and it's just the score. But yeah, and then for subtitles we have Korean, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, and English. Yeah, scenes, just your chapter select. Special features, isolated score track from Alpha. What the hell? Sorry, from Alpha to Omega, building a sequel. Theatrical trailer, galleries, and D-Box mastering motion. Yeah, you'll notice all the movies after the first Planet of the Apes are not going to have as many extras unless it's in the original 5, but yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the disc menu for Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Alright, this is the menu for Escape from the Planet of the Apes. So, yeah. Play, and then for setup, for audio, we have English 5.1 DTS HD, English mono, Spanish mono, French mono, and isolated score track 5.1 DTS HD. So, yeah, and then for subtitles, Korean, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, and English. So, yeah. And then for scenes, it's your chapter select. Special features, isolated score track, we already talked about that. The Secret Behind Escape. Don Taylor directs, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Theatrical trailer. D-Box mastering motion. Advertising gallery, behind the scenes gallery, and that's it. So, yeah, that's the menu for Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Let's move on to Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Here we go. So, yeah, this is the disc menu. Whether you choose theatrical version or unrated version has nothing to do with the extras. I'll just pick unrated version because that's the version that I would typically watch. It just changes on whether and when you pick play. So yeah, for setup, audio, English 5.1 DTS HD, English mono, Spanish mono, French Dolby Surround, and isolated score track 5.1 DTS HD. Subtitles, Korean, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, and English. There you go. Scenes, it's just your chapter select. Special features, yeah, and then you could play the theatrical version here. Isolated score track 5.1, I already mentioned that. Riots and Revolutions, Confronting the Times, A Look Behind the Planet of the Apes, 1972. I think this is a different, obviously this shares the same name with Behind the Planet of the Apes, like the original documentary, but this was 1972 when they made this one, so I think this is just a quick little featurette. J. Lee Thompson directs Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, theatrical trailer, galleries, D-Box mastering motion, and then it's just back to the normal one. And literally nothing else changes if I picked theatrical version when the disc menu opened up. So, yeah, there's so much damn noise. Sorry. Anyways, let's move on to the final movie in this trilogy? Would that be the right word? Pentology? I don't frickin' know. But yeah, so let's move on to Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Here we go. I didn't even realize this. Yeah, for the extended edition, it seems like that's the version they want you to watch. And this isn't like Battle for the, or not, what am I talking about? This is Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Sorry. It isn't like Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Because Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, that's only about a minute difference. This one is a 10-minute difference. So I just picked extended because, yeah. So, play, obviously to play the movie. Setup for audio, we have English 5.1 DTS HD, English mono, Spanish mono, French 5.1 Dolby Digital, and then isolated score track 5.1 DTS HD. Also, can you tell me what the hell half that means? Like, I understand 5.1 because, like, you have, like, it's for, like, if you have 5 speakers and then also a subwoofer. What the hell does DTS HD? Like, HD obviously meaning high def, but, like, what the hell? And then subtitles, Korean, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, and English. Yeah, scenes, just your chapter select. Special features, play theatrical version. Yeah, no. Isolated score track 5.1, I already mentioned that. End of an epic, the final battle, the theatrical trailer, galleries, and D-Box mastering motion. I don't know what that's about either. But, yeah. Anyways, so that is the, I guess I'll just say, pentology of the original Planet of the Apes. Now let's move on to Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, which is not very good. Alright. Okay, yeah, this is definitely when Disney is gonna start being a little bit more like, hey, wait, that's footage of our movie, you know? I mean, this was done by Fox originally, but I mean, like, obviously Disney owns Fox now, and that's a whole thing. But, yeah, so we have play, setup. So we have, for the audio, English 5.1 DTS HD, oh, master audio, lossless. I don't know what that means. French 5.1 Dolby Digital, Spanish 5.1 Dolby Digital, commentary by director Tim Burton, and yeah. Okay, I'm literally taking an audio class at my school, and I don't know what half of this means. That is probably not a good sign. Anyways, subtitles, I mean, none. English, Spanish. Wow, only English and Spanish? That's, wow. And then for scenes, it's just your chapter select. And then, yeah, special features, commentary by director Tim Burton, and play all the trailers, I guess. Planet of the Apes, Behind Enemy Lines, Ice Age, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and okay, that's it. So yeah, that was the 2001 Planet of the Apes. You know what's even worse is this movie actually somewhat looks good, but just because of like the stupid story and crap, like, yeah, I have so many problems with this movie. Maybe I should do a review of all these movies. That might be fun. Anyways, yeah. Let's move on to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, when the Planet of the Apes series got good again. Alright. This is the disc menu for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. My personal favorite of this trilogy, I know probably a lot of people will disagree with me and say that War or Dawn is better. I like both of those movies, but yeah. Plus the music for this movie, like, I don't think this disc has an isolated score track, but holy crap, if it did, I would definitely watch it, because, like, what's his name? Patrick Doyle, I think, is the guy who did the music for this movie, and it's so good. He also did the music for Thor, like the first Thor movie, which is also pretty good. But, yeah, so play, and then for setup, for audio, English 5.1 DTS HD master audio, English 5.1 descriptive audio, Spanish 5.1 Dolby Digital, French 5.1 Dolby Digital, audio commentary by director Rupert Wyatt. There we go, that's the guy who did this one. Audio commentary by writers Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver. There we go. Subtitles off English for the deaf and hard of hearing, Spanish, and nothing for French. Wow. So to all the deaf French people, I mean, you probably can't hear me, but apparently this disc is not for you. That's unfortunate. But yeah, search scenes. That's just your chapter select. Bookmarks. Don't get me started on those freaking things. But yeah, just for scenes, like, yeah. Wow, the movie's only an hour and 44 minutes. I thought it was way longer than that. Huh. Yeah, extras, deleted scenes, mythology of the apes, the genius of Andy Serkis, a new generation of apes, scene breakdown, character concept art gallery, breaking motion capture boundaries, composing the score with Patrick Doyle. Yeah, that's his name. The Great Apes, audio commentary by director Rupert Wyatt, and then yeah, theatrical trailers, sneak peek, and then we're back to the beginning. And live extras doesn't actually work anymore, or at least not with my player, because it works with BD Live. It's a whole thing. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next movie in this trilogy, which is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. All right, this is the disc menu for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That's one hell of a way to open it up. Just the first thing being a close-up of Caesar's eyes. I understand that's how the movie begins. Pretty sure it's also the very first shot in the trailer, which makes sense because it's the very first shot in the movie, other than the logos and crap. But yeah. So yeah. So for this, we have a play, and for setup, audio, English DTS HD 7.1 master audio, English descriptive audio 5.1, Spanish Dolby Digital 5.1, French Dolby Digital 5.1. I don't actually know what language that is. I mean, if you wanna tell me, go right ahead. I wanna say Portuguese. I could be wrong about that, but yeah. Audio commentary by Matt Reeves. Of course, I'm doing. Actually, at the time of filming, The Batman came out yesterday. I really want to watch it, but because of COVID and all that crap, I probably won't be able to for a while. So yeah. And then for subtitles, off English for the deaf and hard of hearing, Spanish, don't know, Portuguese, I want to say, English commentary. What? I'm not sure at all. And then off. And then, okay, search. So scenes and bookmarks. Scenes, it's your chapter select. Extras. Deleted scenes. Journey to Dawn. Andy Serkis, Rediscovering Caesar. Humans and Apes, the cast of Dawn. The World of Dawn. The Ape Community. Move Like an Ape, an artist's medium. Weta and Dawn. Weta is the is like the main sort of CGI company that did these movies. They also do hundreds of other movies. Probably the big ones being they do a lot of the MCU stuff. Yeah, and then The Fight for a New Dawn, audio commentary by Matt Reeves. Gallery, theatrical trailers, sneak peek of Exodus, Gods and Kings. And then yeah, we're just back to the beginning, and thank God there's none of that stupid live extras crap. So, yeah, now let's move on to the third and final movie in this trilogy, which is War for the Planet of the Apes. Alright, this is the disc menu for War for the Planet of the Apes. I absolutely love this movie. It is very good, and I also kind of love the idea that, like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, watching these movies, especially right now with COVID, is kind of a weird thing. I'm not gonna go fully into it. They definitely explain it more in Dawn and this movie, but watching these movies during COVID is like it's just really weird to watch. But yeah, anyways, play obviously to play the movie. Setup for audio, English DTS HD Master Audio 7.1, English Descriptive Audio 5.1, I was about to say Espanol. Spanish Dolby Digital 5.1, French Dolby Digital 5.1, audio commentary by Matt Reeves, and yeah, Matt Reeves is just a super good director. I really love his work on these movies, and also his commentary tracks. I actually kind of like his voice is almost soothing, is kind of the best way I can describe it. Or at least when he's talking about these movies, but yeah. English for the deaf and hard of hearing. I'm in subtitles, by the way, if you weren't paying attention. Spanish, French, commentary by Matt Reeves. I'm going to assume a different Spanish commentary track. Not quite sure. A different French track? Like, or not track, not commentary. I don't freaking know. These are subtitles. I don't know, man. Scenes and bookmarks. So yeah, for your scenes, it's your chapter select. And for extras, deleted scenes, waging war for the Planet of the Apes, all about Caesar, Weta pushing boundaries. Yeah, they've definitely talked about how making the effects for this movie were like a freaking nightmare because how the Apes are... The Apes? What am I talking about? The Apes are way, way more detailed than they were in the previous movie. But, yeah. Music for Apes. Apes, the meaning of it all. The Apes saga. A homage. An homage, I guess. I don't know. Audio commentary by Matt Reeves. Concept art gallery. Theatrical trailers. And deleted scenes. Okay. So, yeah. This was the final disc for this set. So, yeah. I'll see you back at the table to see whether I think this is a good set. Here comes a new challenger. So, yeah, I only realized after filming the first part with the case that I probably should make this video a little bit longer, especially if I want to compare it to my last unboxing. That's just what I'm calling these now, even though they're very clearly not. So this is Planet of the Apes, the Legacy Collection. I have no clue when this came out because my dad has had this set as long as I can remember. I assume it probably came out during the mid-2000s, around that era. But, yeah, so here's the front. Here's the spine. Here's the back. Here's the top, and then here's the bottom. It's crazy to think that all these movies are rated G, including the documentary behind the Planet of the Apes. But, which is actually included on the first disc of the Planet of the Apes Blu-ray set. But yeah, so these are all their own cases, as you can clearly tell. So, yeah, let's just go in order. Ow. Damn it. I got that all settled. Sorry I had to cut. This is probably going to be a nightmare to edit. Anyways, here's the first Planet of the Apes. I really love this movie, as you would probably know. It's probably everyone's favorite out of this franchise, unless they're fans of the newer movies, which I completely understand. So here's the front, here's the spine, and here's the back, and then it also includes some special features. I'm just going to go over these when I pop in the actual disc, but if you want to read those beforehand, you're my guest. So yeah, and then when you open this up, yeah, it's very clear that this is supposed to be from a 2-disc set, but it's not in a 2-disc set. So yeah, we just get Planet of the Apes widescreen, disc 1. A little bit of a disappointment, but luckily the Blu-ray version has practically everything that I think would have been on the second disc. So yeah. So let's move on to Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but they're all gonna have like their own little color associated with them. But yeah. So here's the front. Here's the spine. And here's the back. It is not definitely worth watching. This movie is terrible. But, yeah, and then when you open this up, see, this is what I would expect the disc to look like for that one. Where it's like, nice red. But, yeah. And then Escape from the Planet of the Apes. You know, nice purple. I quite like it. So, yeah, here's the front. Here's the spine. Here's the back. So, yeah, and then when you open this up, you got a nice purple disc. Yeah, in case you haven't noticed yet, I would probably watch the Blu-ray versions of these movies, or even if those ones crapped out, well, at least over here in Canada, we have them on Disney+. So, yeah. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. I like the little green, sort of, like, I like the green. I think it's a nice little touch. So yeah, here's the front spine. I think you're getting the gist by this point. Here's the back. That's kind of a gnarly scene that they're showing on the back there. Jesus. Yeah, and then, yeah, here we go. Here's the green here. The green disc. And then Battle for the Planet of the Apes. This is actually the extended edition. The one that I was talking about. The one that's actually 10 minutes longer than the theatrical cut. Luckily, the Blu-ray has both cuts if you want to watch them. However, I'm only used to the extended cut, and that's probably the only version I'll watch now. Purely because, I mean, I'm not actually sure if this is one of those instances where the extended cut is better than the original cut. But even then, I still hate this movie, so... Yeah, so spine, and then here's the back here. Yeah, includes trailers for Planet of the Apes 1968 and 2001. It literally just has trailers for all of the goddamn movies. Jesus. There we go. And then nice orange here. I don't know why this disc is like having such a hard time being on the hub. There we go, that's better. There we go. And then the last one is a documentary which is, well, like I said, included on actually the first disc of Planet of the Apes. Behind the Planet of the Apes, which is just covering, well, they actually cover the whole series, but it's definitely mostly focused, oops, sorry if the weird hoodie string got caught in the camera, but yeah, this is definitely more focused on like how the Planet of the Apes movies even existed and like how they were made, but this is covering just like kind of the whole series. So yeah, and then when I open this up, yeah, it's a much less defined version. Like this almost looks like if you tried to decompress the image, or like if you tried to compress the image online and it made that. So yeah. Anyways, now let's pop these discs in. I promise there's no more fake outs of more Planet of the Apes stuff. And yeah. Alright. I'm pretty sure there's also spoilers in this disc, so just as a quick warning. But yeah. So this is the DVD menu for the first Planet of the Apes, because as you know, we had a new challenger, that being of the Legacy Collection. I should really search up when this set came out, but yeah, so you have Play Movie, Language Selection. Yeah, it's one of those DVDs where it cuts to a different menu. Yeah, so English Dolby Surround 5.1, English DTS. I don't know what the difference would be, but okay. Spanish 2.0 mono, French Dolby Surround, commentary by composer Jerry Goldsmith, commentary by actors Roddy McDowall, Natalie Trundy, Kim Hunter, and makeup artist John Chambers. Yes, those are the same two on the Blu-ray. What's even funnier is they actually talk about how they're doing this for a DVD, so yeah. And then for subtitles, English for the hearing impaired and Spanish. I never understand why they don't just have the actual options in the actual language. You know what I mean? So like for French, it would say français, but whatever. And then the scene selection, it's your chapter select. Yeah, that was an old thing with DVDs where for literally no reason they would have like a fancy transition. But yeah, special features, commentary by composer Jerry Goldsmith, and the other commentary, and then the text commentary by Eric Green, author of Planet of the Apes as American Myth. So yeah, as you can very clearly tell, the Blu-ray version is probably much better to get, especially since that is probably the easiest, like one of the easiest movies to get. Like out of all 9 of these movies, that Blu-ray is probably one of the easiest to get for the first movie because it's been re-released like 60,000 times. But yeah. Anyways, let's move on to Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Alright. This is the disc menu for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. It's a weird transition, I know, but yeah. And then this is what the rest of the discs are like. This is more of a green rather than a blue like the case, but whatever. So yeah, play, special features. Wow, this actually has like proper special features. Yeah. Okay, kind of another spoiler, but whatever. Cast, photo gallery, theatrical trailers, web link, and main. Scene selection. These stupid transitions. Can't help but love them. It says your chapter select. Ow. Sorry, that was my ankle cracking. Languages. It's the same transition. Okay. English 5.1 Dolby Surround, English mono, French mono, then captions and subtitles. You have English and Spanish. Or I should say English and Spanish. There we go. And then also none. And then, yeah, back to the main menu. So yeah, that was Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Let's go to Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Wow, Jesus Christ, that is just... What the hell? So yeah, this is the disc menu for Escape from the Planet of the Apes. So, special features. Because if I keep saying play, you're probably going to break your ears. Cast, theatrical trailers, web link, and main. Yeah, this was back in the day when they would expect you to pop the disc into your computer. Because sometimes there'd even be like DVD-ROM games on the disc that you could only play on a computer. Is it weird that I would say I kind of miss those days, but also at the same time I never took advantage of those DVD-ROMs? Like I never played them, but yeah. And then, yeah, this is just your chapter select. They really love that opening few minutes of the movie, don't they? Yeah. Oh man, I freaking love that when he's wearing the suit, you know? So yeah, English 5.1 Dolby Surround, English mono, French mono, and then for captions and subtitles, English and Spanish. So, yeah. Anyways, that was Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Let's move on to Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Really going with the fire theme on this one. Okay. That is just straight up wrong. For Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, the disc, or like the disc and stuff is green. Why are you using purple? That's supposed to be Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Whatever. So, yeah, special features. Cast, theatrical trailers, web link, and then main. Scene selection, it's your chapter select. I guess I'll show you. Yeah. Also, fun fact, the guy on the left is the guy who played Khan in Star Trek. And another fun fact, I didn't even realize that because I had actually seen this first before I had seen him in anything Star Trek. But when I looked at Khan, I was like, hey, he looks familiar. And then when I heard his voice, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's the same guy. But yeah. So English 5.1 Dolby Surround, English mono, French mono, then captions and subtitles, English and Spanish. I think you're getting the gist. Luckily, there's only one more disc like this after this, which is Battle for the Planet of the Apes, so let's just go on to that one, shall we? Alright, that was kind of a weird transition, but yeah. So, as you can see, this is the extended edition of Battle for the Planet of the Apes. This is how I first watched the movie, so this is why I'm only familiar with the extended edition. So yeah, special features, which is, if these stupid transitions, there we go. Cast, theatrical trailers, web link, and main. What is with these transitions? Like, I kind of miss them in DVD menus, but also at the same time, it's annoying. Ape shall never kill ape. Yeah, you think that was in the new movies? Like that was an invention of the new movies? Nope, that started here. Yeah, English 5.1 Dolby Surround, English mono, French mono. If I can go down there, there we go, perfect. Captions and subtitles, English and Spanish. And yeah, so let's go back to the main menu. And there's only one more disc after this, which is for the documentary Behind the Planet of the Apes. So, yeah. As you can see, someone clearly had maybe a little bit too much fun with the disc menu. Yeah. I also literally just realized now that for one of these movies, the ending is literally in the poster. Actually, for 2 of the posters. Jesus Christ, they really love that ending, don't they? So, yeah. Anyways, let's move on to special features. Theatrical trailers and main. So this menu seems to be focused on beneath scene selection. I'm wondering, is it going to be based on one of the other movies? Okay, this one's based off of the first one. Oh yeah, the test film, the original test screening. Jesus. Yeah, and then languages. What is this one going to be based on? Also the first film. So yeah, you have only English Dolby Surround, and then the captions are English or Spanish. Oh wait, no, it switches. I see. So, anyways, that is all of the disc menus for all of the Planet of the Apes movies that I own on DVD or Blu-ray. So let's go back to the table one final time for my verdict on whether you should buy these sets or not. Alright, you've now seen the disc menus for all of these. So, in my opinion, if you want to get into these movies, first of all, do not buy the Blu-rays first, or at least just buy the first one. No, if you want to get into these movies, maybe get, okay, I'm not exactly sure where they're available in the US, but if you're Canadian, or if you just have Star on Disney Plus, then just get Disney Plus and then watch them that way. I mean, actually, you probably would already have Disney Plus, especially with all the other stuff on there, but yeah. So do I think you should get these sets? Well, good luck trying to find this one, especially since this one isn't even the best one. And I'm not quite sure on the availability of this one, but I would definitely recommend getting this one because it has so many extras if you're one of those people. It has alternate cuts of the different movies. You even have Ultra HD Blu-rays if you're one of those people. So, yeah. So that was my unboxing of Planet of the Apes, or I should say, these sets. So, yeah. I'll see you next time. I have no clue when, for an unboxing of the Batman 80th Anniversary Collection, which is 18 of the animated Batman movies. That's going to be a real doozy. Anyways, yeah. Bye.